Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Masters of the Apocalypse Anime Talk. I am your Yakuza member, Mas, and with me is the psychic woman, Anne Margrethe. Say hello, Anne Margrethe,
Hey, hi.
or Anne, as you actually are in the show. And also with us is a homeless man, Lad.
Everybody.
Yes. And since I'm the one who have chosen this subject, I will talk about what we are say what we have to talk about this time. Is we're going to talk about the anime Hinamatsuri, and I think this will be the first time I'll actually remember to say this. Spoiler warning to the entire show.
Yeah.
Yes, and a brief summary of Hinamatsuri is that it's about this yakuza member who life is going great for him. Then all of a sudden, then this psychic girl falls out of the sky and hits him on the head, and then she forces him to take care of her, and shenanigans ensues, basically. All right, let's get to it.
Great.
Spontaneous father figure. This one was
Yeah.
yours, Vlad.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think it's very heartwarming that we have a we have a story about a character that becomes a father spontaneous. Um,
Lee.
need what?
But
Spontaneously. Sorry, my English.
yeah, it's
But
fine.
yeah, Nita, again, as you said, Nita was this well-off Yakuza guy.
Mm.
Um, and one day, this psychic girl just came into his life, into his living room, and hit him on his head, and he accepted her into his life and felt some some kind of bond, a parental bond with her, and accepted the role as a father figure. And it's a very heartwarming, and maybe for some people, um, maybe a very relatable type of story,
Mm.
um, that you can't always predict parenthood, and what it does to your um, established life, and how it changes it. Uh, Again, he needed to change about his life. He couldn't go out every night because Hina wanted her home at the in the evenings, to hang out. Like, yeah, that's very normal for kids to want to
Mm.
have time with their parents. So that was very heartwarming, and yeah, something I didn't expect when you said that we should watch this series.
Yeah, I completely agree that the entire premise, I would say, is basically a metaphor for fatherhood.
Mm.
Definitely in Nita's
And
case, and also definitely
mm,
this fatherhood that you're not really prepared for.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
I would also say
uh,
it's kind of like um I don't know how to say this right. It's like there's two different kind of fatherhoods in the story in a way. Like he have the child that he didn't choose, which is like your biological child. You can't choose your biological child.
Mm.
And then there's the child that he could choose, who would have been the adopted child, Azuri, I think her name is. Like he
mhm.
constantly talks
You mean
about how
Ansu?
he just wants Atsuri instead of
Ansu.
Ansel.
Hina or whatever her name is.
just Ansu. But yeah,
Yeah.
What?
Ansu.
Uh,
See.
ANZU.
yeah.
See you. Oh wow. Sorry.
Mm.
But yeah, he 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 didn't have a choice to adopt Ansu though.
Mm.
Mm.
He but but
He
yes,
didn't. You say?
you could nope. He never had a choice to adopt Ansu.
I think he
She
would have
was
if
adopted.
he could.
Yeah,
That's only
not
in
in the story.
hindsight. I would say that the only like
Hindsight.
when he first sees Ansu, then he's very put off by her and doesn't really want to do anything with her, but only does because he feels he's forced to. And when we also first see Ansu, she's very violent. And all that. It's first later
Mm,
when she's gotten a lot of character development and she's had a lot of experiences that she becomes the kind of person that Nita would want to have. So for all
mm,
we know, if let's say Ansu was the one who took Kina's role, like in the beginning, then maybe Ansu
mm.
would have also like. I feel like Nita might have ended up spoiling her little rotten, honestly.
Yep.
So she might have actually not ended up as like such a kind-hearted and selfless person that she ends up becoming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's that's a very interesting thing thing to vets.
mm,
Ansu and Hina is maybe a product of their upbringing
yeah,
with the time we are following them. Are we are we talking about Ansu later, or can we talk
we can talk about
about
her
her now?
later. The end. It's fine.
Okay, good. Okay, um, because again we have Hina and her her being with Nita right now, but we also have Ansu and her being adopted by the old homeless people like
Mm.
Yasan or some other guys I don't
Yeah,
remember. Yasan,
Yazan's the important one.
yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Again, she had, as you said, she started out being very rude and very aggressive.
Yeah,
Uh, her her the way she went about her day was taking stuff and beating people up who didn't who said anything against it.
yeah. She was
Um,
basically a like tough criminal at the beginning,
yep,
like very
yep,
violent.
yeah.
Mm.
And then when she was fined by Yasan, and he told him then he told her about another way of again getting food, uh, getting by in life. Um, she took a 180 and not a 180. She had a bit of trouble conforming into that
Mm.
way of
It
that
took some
way of getting
adjusting
by.
for her, and she was
Yeah, it took some adjusting.
like, admittedly, it's a 12 episode anime, so
Yeah,
we probably skipped like a lot of her
we
really trying
yeah
to adjust.
yeah we will look through fingers with the time,
Yeah, but
with
they did
time.
show her being against it at first, but then being convinced by it, and then slowly like getting into it.
Hmm, yeah.
Mm.
And she began to be very humble and hardworking and
Mm.
very and not taking food and money for granted.
Yeah, I mean, just that. I think it's very telling that when she actually gets into like a regular home, she
When she
immediately
got adopted. Yeah,
what what
when she got adopted.
yeah, got adopted. She immediately
Mm,
like really wants to help in like their restaurant, like to earn her
mm,
keep, even though she doesn't
mm,
have to, which is in stark contrast to Hina, who really doesn't want to work.
mm.
Mm.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
it's it gives us three very contrasting um, maybe not father figures, but again parental role figures.
Yeah,
Again, we have the father figure that has the money and can spoil his daughter rotten, and
yeah, and
we
oh, he
have
was the one who didn't want a kid. The others they approached Ansu, so they actually wanted her.
yeah
Mm.
yeah and we have the homeless people who saw someone in need,
Yeah,
and
to try to help.
they took her, mm, took him in, took her in, and learned teach her how to get by. And then there are the foster parents,
Mm.
maybe not foster, maybe the adopted parents that
Yeah.
adopts Ansu,
Mm.
and want to give her a life where she doesn't have to work so hard anymore, but are willing to give her uh, are are respecting the way that she was taught, and letting her earn her keep
Mm.
in their family,
Yeah.
even though they probably would be fine if she didn't want to work.
Mm.
It, they don't seem like people
They
that,
seemed relatively well off actually in how they
yeah.
like saw I don't know their daily life, I guess.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
So yeah,
And
it's
also,
very
I want to bring
interesting.
up something else. The third Esper girl that we see, or the one who's trapped on an island. Like if we
Mao.
yeah, Mao. If we compare her experience, what ends up with her like character development,
Oh,
like she doesn't have any parents whatsoever. Like in this
She does have like
comparison.
the mentors though, like the guy who works at
Yeah, but
the
he's just
training
abusing
place.
her for money. So
Yeah, yeah, but in her eyes, it might be like
well, she ditches
out
him
for
the
other
first
people.
opportunity. But I don't really see them having that relationship.
no.
But besides, I would say that her entire
Again, it could
like
it is a relationship, but it is a abusive caretaking
Yeah,
relationship. Again,
yeah,
the reason they are taking care of her is because she can bring in more pupils to their, what
dojo
is
is
it?
that what it
Yeah,
is? Martial arts
dojo.
dojo.
the term like money cow or something like that.
Yep,
Yeah.
basically.
Though you can say it's mutually beneficial because then she gets a place to live and like food and
Yeah.
clothes. But again,
Hold on.
hmm?
Mm. And
Do we still have to hold on?
it, have the bird finally killed you?
I'm back.
All right.
Just turn something off.
Fine.
Ah.
But what I want to bring up is that like she ends up for a long time on that deserted island alone, and we see how that is actually really bad for her because she ends up picking up some a bit of unhealthy quirks, I would say, with how she keeps on making dolls that she talks to and acts like are her friend.
Mm.
I would say that's more like a healthy coping mechanism, though. I don't think it's unhealthy for her.
You might say, but it's not winning her any social points.
No, but yeah. Again, I don't know the right way to survive mentally on an island. But
Okay, it's about life and
yeah,
death. Then
it could
whatever
be.
can do to survive, the better. Like that's fine. It's
Mm.
just when she has to go back to society, she's not that. Mm, she's not mentally coping as well as Ansu is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, the fact that Ansu ends up getting this basically job at the restaurant that she's really happy with, and everyone else is happy that she's there, and that Mao ends up getting in, into with these people that are basically using her and trying to make her not leave. It just the comparisons are there. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I I don't have it. It is a very interesting theme that is represented through the whole series. I don't have any more of the from this theme in the series. Do you have any more to say?
That was one thing I considered bringing up,
Hmm.
but I think I could actually it works better in a later subject. So
All right,
yeah.
good.
Though I want to ask is out of out of all anime fathers, where does Nita rank to you guys?
Ooh.
Did
I
you
would
say?
say well,
What did you say?
like out of in terms of anime father ranking, where does Nita rank? because I gotta admit I really like Nita. He's pretty high up to me, even if he is
He
maybe.
did a party when she left, so you know.
Mm,
Very low. So low. Out of all the awesome anime fathers, he's low.
I would
Yeah.
say Light's father from Death Note is probably still maybe the best
Yeah.
father figure in all anime,
Yeah.
but
He's so good.
yeah.
Again.
Well, okay, I don't want to cry about how terrible Light is to his family. We have done that.
Yeah, we have we went through that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
all
still,
right.
but yeah, but for a Yakuza dad, I would say he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, in the circumstances, he's doing a fine job. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on then? Unless Anne, you got something?
No.
All right, moving on. Hina compared to Castiel. This is yours, Anne.
Yes. It just after I wrote down this theme, this subject, I was also thinking like instead of Castiel, maybe just Hina compared to autism because she's kind of autistic. I think
Mm.
like she's really monotone the way she speaks, and it's like she's alienated. Like she doesn't understand human beings.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand social cues or anything really. Even though she's very sweet and kind, just she doesn't understand
I think it can be
anything.
debated with the whole kind thing.
I mean, she is kind to her friends, like the friend who thought she had a superpower. Like Hina, she just pretended to like be nice to her.
Yeah, but I would say that's after character development as well. But
Yeah.
so that's like after she's integrated.
Mm.
Hmm. But
But really, just I think what's most interesting in this show is how Hina learns about humanity, the way Castiel learned about humanity. He
hmm.
became more human himself.
Yeah, I think the trope that we are looking for here is the fish out of water trope.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is that uh,
New fish in new pond.
what?
Was it the fish in the new pond?
No, fish out of water.
Ah,
Pond thing
okay.
is about when there are other. Is about when the like it's a tiny fish in a huge pond or a big fish in a little pond or something like that. It's a different trope.
Okay.
Fish out of water is the trope we're looking for, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's very much. We have to one thing that we have to remember that Hina and really all the Esper girls, they are from the future, which is a very different future than this one, the present. So it does make sense that their I don't know social cues would be different and that they would have very different.
Yes, but Sui, she understands things way better than Hina does.
Also, you
Like I
mean?
think it's yeah, I think it's just Hina that's like alien in this world.
Well,
And
I,
Ansu reacted with she had to pay with what was it? Pushing someone aside with her powers.
yeah, she acted very violently. Like that
Yeah.
was, and she did it as just an of course thingy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say both were very much in terms of violence being bad. Then they were pretty equal, at least in the beginning. I would say
Hmm.
in the fact that they didn't think twice about using their powers to get their way.
Mm.
Hmm.
But one thing we also have to remember is the fact that Hina apparently she ran away,
Hmm.
so she was like a fugitive, while the others they were sent there on a mission and then just
Hmm.
kind of declared MIA or something.
Ah, yeah.
So I think we can maybe say that the entire like first impressions and like the way they acted when they first got there also might have to do with the fact that Hina was a rebel, while the others they weren't, at least not initially. So it
Did
might.
we
Yeah, I was
in the series?
distracted by Bird.
What?
What did you say? I was distracted.
Oh, that with when how they act when we first see them, there that
Yeah.
Hina was already kind of like it makes sense that she would already act different than the others because she was a rebel and was actually trying to escape the organization in the future. While the
Yeah.
others, they were actually still under orders to like catch Hina. So yeah, it actually does make sense that Hina would be much less like willing to like bow to authority and
Mm.
like that, as opposed to both Ansu and Mao, who were both loyal to like the organization again, at least initially. So, hmm,
Do do we ever get? I don't remember. Do we ever get a reason why the organization raised these psyches
I don't
in the
think so.
first place?
not in the anime. We do in the manga, and it's
Okay,
hilarious.
okay, okay, fine.
Do you want to know?
No, no, I don't want to know.
All right,
I don't want to. It's funnier to speculate.
all right. Just
So yeah,
yeah, it's not what you expect. I can tell you that much.
fine. Robot War
Robot
is
War.
my
Yeah.
is my head canon right now. But yeah, again,
In
nah,
that regard, Ansu is actually more like Castiel than Hina is, because
yeah,
Anzu was also on a mission like Castiel was when Castiel
Oh
first
yeah.
came like to Earth, and then they later like fell. You could argue.
mm, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just funny thought I just realized.
But is Hinamatsuri isn't it just a story of okay, what would happen if we took Terminator and make them all anime girls
With psychic powers.
and yeah, with psychic powers, and one of them is a ran away from the future to have a fun life.
I would say no. That's really misrepresenting Terminator. What it's about. Because you have to remember, Terminator is not about the Terminator.
No, no, no. I'm not saying it's about the Terminator.
Then what are
But
you
again,
saying?
it's a long time since I have seen Terminator. I must admit.
All right. Well, the Terminator is the villainous force that we have to overcome
Yeah,
in the Terminator.
yeah. But we also have the Terminator. Again, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I was a bigger fan of the T1000.
Oh, right.
No
All
offense to
right.
Arnold, but we're not here to talk about the Terminator, though. Even though the references are
Yeah,
plenty.
there are
And,
so many
I mean, they even say
references.
it, like, at one point in the
Yeah.
anime with a beep
Mm,
sound.
mm.
And I think they also used the music at one point, right? When we see, like, a naked Nita.
I think I think they hint at it in the
Yeah.
music
And also, they do the
again.
crouch thingy every time.
Yeah,
And also, when we see
yeah,
that other, the agent from the future, she also does the crouch when she's get
yeah,
transported. And
yeah.
she does get transported like the Terminator does,
Mm,
with the lightning effect and everything.
mm. So
So yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Do we have
more after
do we have
this.
a yeah? Anne,
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
you
do
there?
do we have more?
No.
Okay.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
All right. The use of humor and serious drama. Yeah, I chose this one because I think that when it comes to comedy, you have to be very careful when trying to have big comedy and then also serious moments because if you have both in your series, then that comedy can kill the serious, and the serious can also kill the comedy. But I think this one does a fantastic job of really balancing it out. Is that when it's funny, then you know it's supposed to be funny, and then you laugh probably. And when it's serious, you can tell that it's supposed to be serious, and then it actually does manage to, at least me anyway, it managed to hit the feels pretty good. I think this one does.
Yeah, there are some moments
Yeah, and also I think
when
it flows
it
really
feels
well,
serious.
like from one scene to the next with the serious and the humor. Yeah.
Again, it is it just me, or uh, does it does it turn in the episodes? Sometimes they have more serious episodes, and sometimes
They do. They definitely do.
it's more lighthearted,
Mm.
humoristic.
Yeah, I would say there's less humor when we are focusing on a lot of Ansu's parts,
Yeah.
mostly because of how like you feel sorry for her in the way that she's living, I guess. And she's trying
Mm,
so hard, and he's like, "Oh, you can do it, Ansu. You go, girl."
mm,
And I would say with Hitomi's part, that's the bartender girl.
mm,
That what it. I would say it's mostly humor, but mostly because of how over the top it is. I would say. But there
mm,
is also some serious moment. But even this the little bit serious moments, I would say it's also humoristic because it's about how she is overworked and she's everything just she can't control everything. So it's I think that's deliberately made so over the top that it's just funny.
the situation she's in is so unthinkable, and just it just breeds humor.
Mm.
It's yeah,
And it's one of
it's
the
hard to
yeah.
take serious.
Mm. But again, you have to take, of course. Then you have to remember you have to take even the serious moments. You have to take even if you take them somewhat literal. You have to also see them as a metaphor. I would say for a lot of it, when you compare it to the real world.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like I would say with the Hitomi and her having like trying to control several jobs and then trying to keep going to school on time and then just breaking down and not being able to do it. I think that very much a metaphor there to Japanese people who generally working too hard in their daily
Yeah.
lives trying to make everything work.
Mm,
Like we here in Denmark, we don't know how well off we are.
yeah.
Like they really work hard in Japan
Mm,
with some
yeah.
quite terrible
It
business hours. I'm
speaks.
just saying.
I think it's much more easier to compare yourself, someone who's in a culture with overworking and taking extra hours on work. It's much more easier to compare yourself to that plot.
Mm,
So
yeah.
so again, it's maybe in the culture we are here in Denmark, we see it as a very humoristic thing. But maybe if you grow up in a culture where that is much more a thing that comes up much more, it maybe the humor dulls down a
Yeah.
bit
You could also
again.
say it's kind of like societal commentary, like
Mm, mm,
where like if we had in Denmark, if they made a show where they poked fun at something with Danish society, then we here in and they don't spell it out right. They just but we because we're Danish, we can see it, and then we can like find, we're like, oh yeah, it's that, and then we find it funny. Then this is of course made for Japanese people, so they would
mm,
kind of get it like, more than
mm,
we would.
mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Just like I just realized we haven't. I'm not even sure if I should explain it. Like, do people just generally have an idea of what a yakuza is? So do we have to explain what that is?
What it is.
Maybe you should say it just a little bit about
Okay,
it.
yakuza is basically Japanese mafia.
Yeah.
Most people would get that.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
Uh, oh, one thing I want to ask: how do you feel about like the action in the show? Because there's one part about it that I want to mention that I actually really enjoy, is that every time someone gets hurt, they like say "ouchie,"
Yeah, it says
Oh
ouchie.
yeah.
and it's amazing. And that's where
That's so
the
funny.
blend of the serious and the humor works really well. Because if they didn't add some of those tiny moments, tiny bits, then those moments would have been serious. But
Mm.
because of the little bits there, it becomes so funny. Like
Yeah,
she's
and it
crushing all those Yakuza members, throwing out the window and all that, and it would be terrifying. But they all say, ouch, oh, 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 ouch, oh.
it's funny. It almost becomes synonymous with this series. I've never seen a anime series where all people that gets hurt say the exact same thing.
Mm. And they
It's
never mention it. They never bring it
they,
up. It just does
no,
it. And that's, I love
no,
that. Like, if a character kept on saying, like, why are you all saying ouchie or something, that would ruin the joke.
yeah, that ruined the joke totally.
Mm. And it doesn't matter
Do you
what
think
kind of
that
injury.
what?
Mm.
It doesn't matter what kind of injury they get. It's
Yeah,
always
Yeah.
ouchie.
all the injuries.
Yes. Uh, what were you
Did you watch?
saying, Anne?
I was saying it has gives the feeling that the people who created this show that they had a lot of fun making it.
Mm,
Like
definitely.
Mm.
people saying "owie" when they get thrown around. It's it almost feels like the production had it as a little inside joke between them.
Oh, and
Like
now
the
I'm
joke was
yeah.
for them.
Now I'm just imagining that they had like on their schedule the ouchie day.
Yeah,
All right, guys, now we're going all the ouchies. Are you ready? And then they just took them one at a time. uh,
just in my microphone booth in the sound compartment.
mm,
Okay, we need three goons saying "ouchie" in three different volumes. Here we go.
yes. And then and then they're meeting up to work and they're asking like, oh, I'm playing Hina. Who are you playing? Oh, we're the ouchie group. We're just here to come some extra ouchies. But,
Oh, it was a very great ouchie, but can I make you do one where a brick falls over your hand? Yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't really buy that ouchie. Could we try again, but with a little more feeling?
Yeah, with a little more
Like
feeling.
imagine there's a little girl throwing an adult straight at you that hits you in the chest. Go. Uh,
Ouch.
I'm just not feeling it. We need
Mm.
some. We need some method acting here. All right, if you stand over there.
Oh.
Oh god. I can just imagine this is gotta be. Anyways, like this gotta be a ton of fun to work on.
Mm.
Uh, so.
Oh yeah, do you remember the scene where they played that game where point and look?
Oh,
I don't
the rock
remember
paper
the game.
scissor thingy.
Yeah.
Look that way. Yeah,
Mm.
it would. Oh, I think it must have been so funny either in the animation compartment or in the
Oh,
sound compartment. Making those scenes must have been so funny.
mm.
How do you sound like wind blowing your cheeks around? Uh, yeah.
How they did.
Oh, one fun fact I want to bring up: the voice actor for Amsu, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, you remember there's one scene where she's with the homeless people and she has to like sing, and she sings
Yeah.
this song and it sounds terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, they was
One
crying.
fun fact: her voice actor is actually a famous singer on YouTube.
Oh,
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard her sing really well some anime covers on YouTube. So
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, and
And
then
they
she
even
got that role.
heard.
That
Oh God, that's so funny.
mm. This is a little fun anecdote.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's great.
mm,
Thank you for that one.
no problem.
Oh.
Okay, is there more?
No.
I don't have any more.
All right, then let's move on. Is it possible for a 12-year-old to work all night without parents finding out? And this is yours.
Yes. Okay. So when, like, with my entire life, my parents have been like super strict, and
Mm.
I've learned to lie so well, to like sneak out and like go to a bar when I was like 15 and shit, you know?
Mm.
Like you have to learn how to lie really well when you have strict parents. And I was just thinking like would it even be possible for one of us to like have a job all night at 12 years old and the parents wouldn't find out at least for a while?
Well,
Well,
they
I
do
don't
find
think.
out in the show, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but
no.
later on,
I mean, it takes them a little
it takes a
while,
while.
but
Again, he told me. I think. I think one of the reasons that Hitomi's parents don't get any wind of it for so long is because Hitomi is a grade A student.
Mm.
Is that wrong?
yeah, yeah, she gets like perfect grades.
Yeah, she's a grade A student. Again, she seems like the person who hasn't done anything wrong
Mm.
through her life until now, where she
Yeah.
gets a bartender job at 12. So again, I think one of the reasons that her parents didn't get the wind of it for so long is because they just trusted her.
Wait,
Again,
I wanna say
they.
something. No, they
Yep.
did because when they're at the
Oh,
club,
you're right.
then her mom's called her and she tells her, "Well, we're at a nightclub," and the mom's like, "Yeah, that's good, right, right." And then she talks like, "Well, okay." So she actually tried to tell them they didn't trust her. So
Yeah.
it's just that I would say that the idea of your daughter being working at a bar is just so out there that there's how could that be possible? I
Yeah.
think that that's the only explanation for how it
Mm.
just. Also later on when they actually do start to suspect something, her mom thinks she's actually like a sex worker. It sounds like some kind of
Yeah.
that. So how
Yeah.
much they really trust her, I don't know if I buy that.
Oh God.
But
Yeah.
you're right that she's a grade A student.
Yep. She. Yeah. It's a very funny scenario. The whole story with her and where Utako, the bar lady,
Hmm.
uh, again she don't want to lose her only worker,
Yeah,
so
because
she
her business is
gets this.
actually she's actually gaining business after she started
Yeah.
working. So she's a better bartender than her.
So again, when she hears that Hitomi can't work for her anymore, she encourages her to, okay, right, you have to stand your ground, be your own woman. I can get you a apartment. Oh, it's too expensive. Well, you just have to work some more. Don't worry.
Yeah, and it's all for selfish gains. It's not to help
Yeah,
Hitomi.
yeah, yeah. Utago is
Good
not
person.
a great work giver.
Hmm. Great boss, maybe.
Yeah, great boss. Yeah, you call that it.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, her mom, Hitomi's mom.
Mm.
Like, is she a good mom? Because, like, at the end, when she actually finds out, she's like, "Hitomi, this is such a great opportunity. Like, go for it."
That's
And,
not a good mom. Like, don't say that to a 12-year-old. Like,
um,
when she's like 17, fine, you can start asking her to like take jobs serious. But a
hmm,
12-year-old, like, they have to just be a kid, you know?
Mm.
yeah. Okay, and also I had to say I'm a little bit spoiled because I read the manga and we see it later. Hitomi doesn't have a good family. So,
Oh, no, no! You spoiled me. No.
not a good
Damn
family in the
you.
really fun way.
Oh no. No, I thought I thought she was well off, but fine,
Nah,
fine.
not really.
Okay. Well,
The fact is, her dad's yeah, wimp. Hmm.
okay, fine. All right.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the mother is a bit. Yeah, she's not good.
Yeah.
She
Fine.
actually ends
Fine.
up getting to see Nita as kind of a father figure at some point.
Ah,
Because he's the only adult in her life that she actually feels she can count on.
That's so sad.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's so
really
sad.
sad.
A client in the bar she works in.
And her best
Perf.
friend's dad.
Yeah.
Hina is Hina her best friend?
Is she?
Like,
I don't know.
I don't, they hang out. I definitely think that Hitomi is Hina's best friend, but is Hina also Hitomi's best friend? Like, there's also
Maybe.
that glasses chick that she also hangs around her.
That
But
that's not. It's not. Is that mommy? No, it's not mommy.
what?
Mommy.
The glasses chick?
That's the. No, I don't think so.
Mm,
She has ponytails. Uh, no,
mm,
whatever. Whatever.
yeah. Uh, uh,
It's,
is there more to say? Like, Hitomi, a great character. Kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, she's just a lot of fun to watch. So, yeah.
I don't have any more to
Yeah.
say.
And actually, I don't think
Fun
it's
to see
possible
her
for a
development.
12-year-old to work all night without a parent finding out.
Hmm.
At least not in
Fine.
that kind of environment.
All right.
Yeah, moving on.
Do we have any?
Or
Do we have
Anne?
any more to say, Anne?
No.
All right, portrayal and use of Yakuza. Yeah, at one point when I was watching this, I wondered, like, how much commercial for the Yakuza is anime like actually doing? Because I would say that generally the portrayal of Yakuza in anime has been pretty positive of what I've seen anyway. Like as positive as a criminal organization can be, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like in
Again, they don't show the seriousness
yeah,
of
they kind of show a little
of
bit of it. Like they do say that they try to make Nita go in with a gun and shoot a different gang,
yeah, right.
but of course then
Yeah.
we're treated to the comedy of Hina just taking them all down. And then there's also that about to, and he also says that like Nita, if he doesn't do it, they will kill him. Like he doesn't downright say it, but it's implied, highly implied, that if he doesn't follow
Mm.
orders, he will die. So they do show some of the.
They do nudge towards it, but
It's not explicitly shown.
it's not explicit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're
way it's
right.
shown in the show is more that they're tough but fair. It's more the vibe that they're giving in the show.
Mm.
I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Like if you do your job, then you do it your job well, then you're getting praised and you're getting rewards, and then you can go up in life and all that. But if you
Mm.
don't do your job, then well, may God help you.
Yeah. There are some dire consequences, as
Yeah,
again we see in this picture.
yeah, which was all over a misunderstanding, of course.
Mm.
But hey, everyone ended up well, and
Yeah.
Nita got promoted over
You got
it.
promoted.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that was fun too.
that was actually a really funny moment. Almost as funny as when that one reporter made a documentary about Anita.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
all of the
Yeah.
other like Yakuza members, they made fun of Nita over it. Like they were acting like bros there. I feel.
Mm.
So I feel like it's kind of like in Pulp Fiction when they're showing the two like criminals in Pulp Fiction. They're just making fun, having fun together, but then also showing them do bad stuff. It's kind of like that here in
Mm.
Hinamatsuri.
Right.
And
It's
also,
it's very much like that. Yeah.
yeah, and also in terms of how the Yakuza is portrayed, like how realistic it is, from what I have read about Yakuza without being an expert, then it seems pretty, to a degree anyway, accurate from what I can see. Like in terms of how like it's set up and some of the things they do, because some of the Yakuza they really like have really like have different areas where it's their territory that they're like that they look after. So it's also very much normal for the Yakuza to actually try to stop other kind of criminal activity. Like when we see one of the what was the bar lady called again? You had their names already.
Utaku.
Yeah, Otaku.
Utaku.
When she requests Nita and his Yakuza group to like stop Ansu from stealing stuff, that's actually a thing that Yakuza does in order to like have control. Again, it's organized crime, so they try to stop petty theft and vandalism so that they can control the yeah the illegal
The area.
yeah.
Mm.
And
Again, I
also
don't know anything about Yakuza how they work.
and they also
All my
yeah
experience with Yakuza is from media, the game Yakuza, and from other animes. So I can't say anything about how a real Yakuza group would work and how they are organizing.
well they do have a
So
sense of like honor, like code of honor and all that, that they are very much at least on the surface is what they're very much a focus on. Of course the real Yakuza they don't want to all the nitty gritty stuff, they don't want that to be a big focus. So yeah, so
I
at least on a
trust you.
surface level, on a surface level, I would say that this is pretty much a good portrayal of how Yakuza is. You know, minus all the comedy, I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but again,
How about you, Anne? Do you
yeah.
have experiences with the Yakuza?
I honestly barely even know what it is, so
Hmm.
I have no idea what to say about it.
But they also do stuff, you know, like death trap people, if you know what that is.
I don't
Yep.
know.
Oh, it's
Yep.
like
No,
when
Death
they find
Trap.
yeah when they
Yeah.
find people who are down on their luck, then they're acting like, oh, don't worry, dude, we'll take care of it. Here's some money. We'll just pay us back later. Don't worry about it. And then the person that they gave some money can pay it back. And then they're in yeah, in debt to the yakuza, and then they have to do either
So it's
sell them
just like
something or
a
do something
normal
for them and
yeah,
all that. Yeah, they also do stuff like that.
like Godfather stuff.
Exactly like mafia.
Like Mafia, yeah.
Yeah, like exactly like mafia. It's
Exactly. It's the Japanese Mafia.
basically
Why don't we just call it that then? Why Yakuza? Why can't we
Because
just call it
Yakuza
Mafia?
sounds cooler.
okay. It's
No, it
because they're
doesn't.
actually because yakuza is what the Japanese calls it, and it actually is different in some ways
How? How?
in how they
How?
came
Yeah.
about for one,
What?
Like what?
like how they came about.
Oh, okay.
For
Yeah.
example, okay, there are actually more than one theory about how the Yakuza came about, but the biggest theory and the one that I like is that they are former like after the unification of Japan and a lot and the samurai became like the high class. Then there were a lot of former samurai who are now ronin who didn't have a master. They like banded together to form groups, and then in those groups they did criminal activity, which became more and more organized over the time.
Uh, oh,
Yeah,
thank you, Professor Mass.
no problem. Also, the Yakuza is not a term that is actually not what the Yakuza groups are calling themselves. That's what the rest of Japan are calling them.
Yeah.
Yeah. apparently Yakuza is actually what you say in like in a card game where if you get like the perfect hands like 3 times, that's called a Yakuza. Apparently.
Oh,
So I think it's a gambling thing. They do a lot of gambling stuff.
right.
Mhm. So yes, anything more?
Nope.
Have any one of you
Uh,
played the game Yakuza?
Nope.
nope. I have seen someone play it.
That's not good
It
enough.
looks fun. Looks fun.
Hmm. All right. Should we
Thank
move
you for
on?
the history lesson. Yeah,
Yes, no problem. Portrayal of the future's hierarchy.
yeah,
Yeah, this is yours, Vlad.
yeah. I think it's interesting that we we hear all about this organization in the future, and even the what is she called, the woman with the papers that's gonna take
Isn't her
over
name like
that.
something with a K?
Uh, something with a K.
I think so.
Hmm, I don't remember her name. All right, the woman who wants to take Hina back to the future. That she got this test from the organization, and she has to answer to some higher power or some boss of hers. And it's funny that we don't learn anything more. It's almost brought down to the bare minimum of information, because I don't think the story needs in what we are shown. It doesn't need any more information. It's just funny that we have a future that these characters come from, and now they are in a bit of past that they lived in.
Hmm. Yeah, and one thing that's funny, it actually becomes a major plot point later
Mm,
on in the story,
yeah,
where we actually find out how everything connects together. It all connects together.
yeah.
Hmm.
Again, a future where they use uh, small girls with powers to fight their battles. It can't be a good future.
No.
It again, you're very short of options if you use children as your
With
weapons.
psychic powers.
What?
With psychic
Psychic
powers.
powers. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if children are the only ones who, for some reason, can have psychic powers, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Use them.
Exactly. It reminds me of another anime. What was it called? Like it's coming something like gun shoot girls or something like that,
Uh, okay.
where um, where like the government made like super soldiers, but the only way
Mm,
it could work was if those super soldiers were in the forms of little girls. They were the only one who had like the biological something
mm.
something for it. So they took these young girls who were like really kids and turned them into super soldiers and had them become assassins. It reminded me of that.
It's the same in Neon Genesis.
Is
It's
that
only
is that a
children.
popular idea to have like?
What?
Apparently this is in several animes from what I can hear. So
Uh, are you talking about Neon Genesis?
no, the whole thing about making kids fight in a war or
It's
making turning kids into super soldiers of some
it's
kind.
V. It's V, but I I think it's because of the probably clientele of who are watching who is watching these series. Well, it's probably young people
Mm.
that can better
Relate to
see
it.
themselves.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, I don't. I think it would make the characters less. Uh, what's the right word? comparable to yourself if it was an adult. If you're a young girl or young boy,
Mm.
it would make them less, yeah, relatable. If that's the word, relatable. It would make them less relatable. But what um, that brings up another interesting question. Why would it be interesting for a story to make you relatable to just say Hina again? What's interesting in relating to her?
I think there we are not supposed to be relating to Hina. We are supposed to maybe relating to Nita.
Ah,
Like Hina is an event that's happening to Nita.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like Hina is not the
that's
main
right.
character. Nita is, I would say.
Yeah, I would say too.
Mm. I mean, if we look at what the title Hinamatsuri, it translates to Hina Festival. So
Mm.
it's apparently isn't real. That's apparently a real festival in Japan. That's called that. But
Oh,
anyway, um, yeah. So it also you could say that like his life is after Hina comes into. It's like Hina festival. Like it's all about Hina and what's happening to
yeah.
his life because of that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. I'm asking myself, what is the client? What is the age where they are shooting for
in
this?
Hinamatsuri, I think here's the
Yeah.
thing. You can. I think it's clever that in this show you can enjoy it for different reasons depending
Mm-hmm.
on your age.
Right.
Like if you're very young, all of the slapstick comedy and all of that would be really funny to you, and all of that deeper stuff would go straight over your head. But if you watch this as you grow old, as I don't know our age or older,
Yeah.
then you notice all the like the metaphors and all the real world references, and and you can still laugh at all the funny stuff, but it also becomes funny for a different reason, and you also enjoy it for a different reason. So yeah,
So yeah,
I would say this is
I'm.
for all ages actually,
Hmm.
and I'm not just saying this because kids can watch it. I would say adults can enjoy this.
Hmm. Again, I enjoyed it, and I'm 144.
Mm. And still homeless. Wow. Well,
I
so
don't have anything more. We
well
we
we're at the
we took
end,
a
so
total we took a total detour on the last
Yep.
on this last question.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So Anne, it's your time to shine. What are we talking about next time?
What did you say? Sorry.
It's your time to shine. You have to pick the
Oh,
next subject.
oh, that's easy. School live.
Oh,
Oh, we
what
go
is
on
that?
zombie
What
on
is that?
this.
Oh, it's
It's like school
are
girl and
they?
We've seen this one, Vladdy. It's the one
guards.
where
We have
those,
seen that.
yeah,
Oh yes,
those kids are trapped in a school, and there's
it's
zombies
a
all
zombie.
around, and one
How
of the
many
kids
seasons?
are,
I would say
yeah,
have a second season out yet?
no.
Oh, it's an easy one. Thank you, Anne. Thank you.
I heard it got a live action movie some time ago, but
Are
It
we
what?
gonna watch the movie too?
Oh, it's
why
the
don't
it's a
we?
Netflix one or what?
Are people fine with us watching the movie and then talking
Again,
about it?
Anne needs to watch the whole series and the movie. Again, I think
Okay.
she's the one to decide if we
Okay,
take the
let,
whole
let's
series
let's
and the movie.
say that's it. We talk about the series, and then if Anne has had enough time to watch the movie, then she'll do it.
Well,
Oh,
thank you, listeners, for listening.
Yep.
yes. So remember to like and subscribe, and also to comment down below about how awesome or how stupid we are, depending on your views. And we will see you next time.
See
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.